Hi, so for this week's, our questions are: how does your faith, beliefs, and values provide you with discernment and direction when you experience unethical, unjust, and inappropriate situations in physical education and sport? My faith and beliefs and values obviously plays a big part in my coaching and in my teaching. I strongly believe that if you do good, good will come back to you. If you do bad, bad will come back to you. Kind of with the whole karma thing, and growing up, I experienced it on both ends, whether I put good or whether I put bad out there. Sometimes I just got bad, regardless if I did good. And with that being said, I do believe that if you're ethical with sports, or with your job, like, you don't want anybody to look at you and kind of like question your ethics and kind of be like, well, I don't know, she's kind of shady or anything like that. Like, you don't want that. And I feel that as a basketball player and definitely as a coach, I've shown examples of that where people look at me and they'll say like I have a strong head on my shoulders, or like I have a good moral code, where I have also I have people coming up to me and asking me about like certain situations and really taking into consideration my advice that I give them. And a lot of it is just I go with like my gut feeling, and I go with what's right, not what's you know what will make things better right now at this instant, but in the end, like, is it right or is it wrong? Because there is a right way and there's a wrong way to do things. And I don't think I was in any type of situation where there was where like it was an inappropriate situation. The only thing I can think of is probably like 2 weeks ago, my team played against um who did we play? LA Southwest. We played over there, and we're having to tell the girls all the time, be respectful to the refs. Like, we are, San Bernardino already has a name on them, and they have a stigma stuck to them. So you have to go in there and be respectful, like, at all costs. And we are also told plenty of times, do not cuss on the court, do not cuss on the court. But one of our players had 4 fouls, and she was sitting on the bench. She didn't like a call that a ref had made, and the ref was taking out the ball like right in front of our bench. This player decided to yell at the ref, "What the F were you looking at?" Obviously, the ref teed her up, and she fouled out sitting on the bench. And so after that had happened, we had another game, and the coaches had asked us, should I start her? And after getting a technical, should she start? And I said no, she shouldn't, because you cannot, like, that just wasn't, she wasn't showing any leadership, and unfortunately she was a captain. And so I thought, you should probably make an example of her. You can't talk like that during the game. You can't get a technical and expect to start the next game. And unfortunately, she started the next game, which, it kind of like wavered my moral code. And it doesn't so much have to do with morals or anything like that, but it just has to do with like respect and what example are you setting if, you let a player get a technical and then you allow them to start the next game. And I know she was our only point guard, and I get that, but could have sat her out for like 2 minutes or something like that. Kind of made it seem like you don't do that. Obviously, we got at her, or we gave it to her for cussing and whatnot. But I think that's the only type of situation I can think of that was inappropriate or a little bit unethical. I wouldn't say it's like on the verge of like, boom, like this is bad or anything like that. And I actually found this article, and it's actually the title of it. Oh, Ethics in Sports. And specifically that I looked at was coaching staffs and management. And there was a quote in there that said, coaching staff and management should not ask personnel to do anything against the rules of the game, nor should they act against the professional contracts signed by coaches or players. And I know this is basic, this is common sense. It's like, you don't ask them to put their job at jeopardy just to win, or or to do something out of the ordinary because at the time you thought it was right, or at the time it made sense, or anything like that. I think ethics in sports is really important, because a lot of the times you'll see people being unethical, and like, I think it's more important in high school, obviously in high school, junior college, university or collegiate level, and professional level. Just because one, like in high school, if you're gonna show unsportsmanlike conduct, if you're gonna hit someone down and then just walk over them, you know, that goes for like whatever college coaches are watching you during that game, and they're gonna be like, no, you don't want that on your team. And the right thing to do would be to help them out, help them up. You push them down, you help them up. And that's another thing of like, I've always been that player where if I accidentally hit you, oh, there was this one time I was playing in a game and I knocked this girl down, and I'm not that big of a person, but I don't know how I knocked her down, and I stopped the game because like obviously I knocked her down, but I stopped playing and I like ran to the girl and like I picked her up. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I'm not that person to just be like, oh my gosh, you fell, like that sucks. No, like I went over there and I helped her up and I made sure she was okay, and like I had my whole team get mad at me because I did that, but you know, I just wanted her to know I didn't mean to do it on purpose, and I was genuinely like concerned because it was a hard hit, and I think that goes a long way. Rather than winning or losing a game, what you do out there that shows character for any type of player, for any coach. Um, Character comes first before winning any games. But with this article, I'll definitely attach it. It's actually kind of good, and it goes into different sections for like fans, adults. I mean, fans, agents, referees, media, coaching staff, management, and players. And they really like dive into each of those sections. So I'll attach that to there. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good week.